Hello and welcome to India Business Report. I'm Nidhi Dutt in Mumbai. There's yet another jittery start to the week for global markets, and India has been no exception. Concerns about a slowdown in the United States and the debt crisis in Europe have weighed heavily not only on Indian stock prices, but the rupee too has been depreciating steeply. Adrian Murray's been taking a look at why the rupee has been sliding and what impact this could have on India's economy.
More choppy trading on global stock markets. Ongoing worries about the slowdown in the US and Europe's debt crisis prompted fresh rounds of share sell-offs on India's Sensex before gains later in the week. And all this market turbulence has been having a negative impact on the value of India's currency. Over recent weeks, the rupee has been depreciating sharply, slumping to a 2-year low against the dollar. Essentially, it's losing value, meaning it takes even more rupees to buy a single dollar. Although returns can be higher, India's stocks are seen as relatively riskier investments. Over August, foreign institutional investors withdrew large amounts of funds, with heavy sell-offs amounting to $2.2 billion worth of local shares. This flooded the market with rupees. Conversely, the dollar has become increasingly scarce. Oil is India's biggest import item, and domestic refiners have been buying up large sums of dollars to meet payments for crude.
India is a oil importing country, and 75% of imports comes from the oil import. So that is always causing the scarcity of the dollar. When the dollar payments are due, we see the huge outflow of dollar. That's what we saw in the month of August, and that caused a triggering point from the 43.90 level to 46 level for the dollar to move. And we have seen overall within the global market there is a scarcity of the dollar due to the crisis within the European zone, and after the Swiss franc got pegged, dollar is again reconsidered as a safe haven. So same thing applies for India, where the dollar outflow has increased and the scarcity of the dollar has increased.
But what impact does the sliding rupee have on Indian business? Here in Boisar, Maharashtra, Anu Pharma manufactures and distributes pharmaceuticals. It's part of the family-run SK Group that's been operating for around 80 years. Staff check and demonstrate the machinery. These huge vats will be used to make antibiotics. Not only are the drugs sold in India, the product is also exported to markets in Latin and North America, Southeast Asia and Europe. For those Indian businesses that do export their products abroad, the depreciating rupee should come as a welcome sign. With rising costs putting pressure on prices and margins, it offers some relief because it means that the goods that are made here in India are relatively cheaper and more competitive when they're sold overseas. But even then, it's a complicated picture. Whilst half of Anu Pharma's output is shipped overseas, the majority of the raw materials they use are imported. And conversely, the depreciating rupee means these imports are getting more expensive. Managing partner Ketan Shah says the unpredictable rupee makes business more difficult.
It is very difficult, especially when it is so volatile as this. I mean, when it is fairly stable, it's fine, but when you've seen about 8% going off in less than 2-3 weeks, it's quite a challenge. You just cannot plan this. You cannot, obviously every company has its own policy on hedging and mitigating these risks. But still, this always has an impact on overall business sentiment, overall business prospects also. So it's definitely going to affect, and it's very difficult to manage this kind of volatility.
More expensive imports are also bad news for the wider economy. India has a trade deficit. It imports more than it exports. Inflation has been escalating in recent months, and high import costs will add further pressure to prices. But for how long will the rupee continue its slide?
Unless this uncertainty continues as far as Europe is concerned, we'll see huge amount of volatility. But I think over the medium run, I'm hopeful that the capital will return to India because of higher interest rates here, because of better growth prospects. So money coming in will again appreciate the rupee.
Analysts say the rupee could remain weak for some time, but much is dependent on how the situation in Europe plays out. For now, though, as the rupee continues its slide, both exporters and importers alike will have to find ways to meet the challenges that come with a volatile currency.
Well, that's all we've got time for on the show this week, but do join us again next week for another edition of India Business Report. In the meantime, you can contact us with any questions, or if you'd just like to get in touch, by asiabiz@bbc.co.uk. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search BBC Business there. From all the team, thank you very much for watching. I'm Nidhi Dutt in Mumbai. Bye for now.